What is up, beautiful people? It's your boy Justin Martin. I know it's been a while since I posted a video. A lot has changed in the last month or so. Just got back from Africa not too long ago, about a week ago. And now my wife and I are here in Pennsylvania visiting with family because we're having our baby shower here. So enough of that. Let's actually jump into the Q&R for the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. Let's do it. Alright, first question. How's the battery life? It sucks. I get about 50 minutes. I shot some stuff in Chicago. It didn't even last the whole time we were there. So I don't plan on using an internal battery. I will be using a V-mount battery. I have 3 of them, so I'm going to rig it up every time, which I don't mind. I like that weight, and yeah, I don't plan on using battery at all. Alright, question number 2. I heard that there is no playback when recording on the SSD. Is it true? No, that is not true. It probably was true for the previous version, but in this software update, this latest one, I played back SSD footage onto the camera because I did a test where I just let it record Blackmagic 3:1 RAW on the SSD for an hour, and I watched it back on the camera, not the whole hour, but I kind of scrubbed through just to see anything dropped off, drop frames, anything like that, but it was fine. I could do a couple more tests, but from my knowledge, it still plays back on the SSD. Next question, do you think Blackmagic will ever introduce a 35mm version for the Pocket? No, I don't think so, just because you have the Ursa Mini Pro. Those are Super 35 cameras, that lineup itself. So this is for a particular market, a particular niche, and I think that they won't kind of step over that line. The Micro Four Thirds sensor, that mount is pretty versatile anyway, so you can just add a speed booster or anything like that. But no, I don't think they'll be making any newer cameras in the future for this Pocket line. That's going to kind of trip over to the Super 35 lineup, because that's a totally different category that they're trying to sell. You know, they're upselling on that camera, the Ursa Mini Pro, the G2, all that. I keep on ending things saying so. Yeah, I got saying that. This is not a question, but I've gotten this quite a bit. Do a color correction and video on RAW workflow. That's going to come. I'm not a colorist, but I do have some thoughts on how to go about seeing color and understanding what you want, but we get to that later. Next question says, do you think Blackmagic will ever, can't read. Do you think it's unlikely that Blackmagic will ever introduce an anamorphic mode? I don't think it's unlikely, but it was very surprising to see that it wasn't in this camera, because a lot of people will throw on an anamorphic adapter or a lens. I know I will, because I have the SLR Magic 2x anamorphic lenses, and you lose a lot of field of view because you got to crop, because it's it shoots it in 16:9 basically. So I wish there was a mode. I'm hoping Blackmagic, if you hear this, bring an anamorphic mode in the next update. It's really necessary actually, because that's part of my workflow now. I offer anamorphic, but yeah. Oh my gosh, I said it again. Next question says, we bought a Sony A7 III for a company. I'm looking for a B camera or video camera, Blackmagic or GH5. So I don't know a lot about your company, but it sounds like you guys do a lot of hybrid stuff, because you bought the A7 III, which is a hybrid camera. Does okay job either way. That's my sister. So I would, if I were you, based on that, I would probably get the GH5, just because it can fit that run and gun, literally that run and gun style that you might be doing with these A7Ss. It'll kind of fit perfectly in terms of video. It has, you know, no cutoff time. It can record for longer formats, however you're going to be using it, maybe for weddings, corporate, whatever. It's a very versatile camera for video. So not saying that the Blackmagic isn't, it's just there's a lot more that goes into this camera, because it's not necessarily made to shoot video like a GH5, if that makes any sense. It's made, this camera, the Blackmagic camera, is made to be more of a cinema production camera. Documentaries, short films, commercials, you get it, right? More controlled environments. It can work in a lot of different environments, but you get what I'm trying to say. The GH5 might be better fit for what you guys are shooting, because you're shooting with the A7 III as the main camera. Woo! Alright, next question, how do I set up my camera? That's a loaded question. I'll get to that later. Stay tuned for that. Next question says, can it record CFS 2.0 and an SSD USB-C both at the same time? No, there's no dual recording at the moment. I don't know if they're going to actually bring that. That would be very taxing, I believe, on the camera if you're shooting 3:1 RAW. So it might not even do that. But no, it doesn't do that right now. What?
I need to run water.
Can you just like wait?
No.
Fine, hurry up.
Do my hair.
Go.
Can you see my hair?
No, you're too dark. Okay, hold on. I can't see your hair. Oh my gosh, go back inside.
He told me to go back inside.
I'm gonna stop this for now.
20 minutes later.
Can you hurry up?
I'm done.
That's it?
You try to get rid of this?
I gotta finish this. I love you guys. Okay, bye. Oh, that's on camera. Okay, I think they're gone. Next question. Will Resolve be your main NLE now that you have BRAW? DaVinci Resolve has been my main editor for the past 4 months or so. I switched because I was getting so annoyed with Adobe Premiere, and I really like Final Cut Pro because it's very well optimized for the Mac, obviously. So I've been using it. I'm used to the system. There are some quirks, but I'm waiting for the final version of 16 to be released, and I'll update to 16. But yes it is. Next question. Should I upgrade to the GH5 or the Blackmagic? Wow, there's a lot of light that got lost. That's a tough question because honestly I don't know what you shoot. Some thoughts real quick. If you are someone like me before I got this who did a lot of vlogging, I didn't do a lot of vlogging, but like shoot YouTube stuff, event work, stuff like that, like non-narrative content, then yes, get the GH5. If you're looking to push more in towards the commercial, narrative, documentary work, the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera is what you want to get because that's what it's geared towards. Definitely get a cage because it needs a cage right out the box if you go that route. So I can't really give you a definite answer. You just have to really know what content you're shooting and then pick the camera that fits your needs. Really simple as that. Next question. Since it's a micro four thirds, what's the crop sensor on the sensor with lenses? I said that wrong. But anyway, this is a 1.8 crop on this sensor. So for instance, I have a 50mm lens from SLR Magic, and the equivalent is a 90mm once you do 1.8 times whatever your focal length is. So that's the crop on this. Yes, I will. Yes. Next question asks, what are you planning for your handheld setup? I know IBS was clutch on your GH5. Quick note, to be honest, I only use my IBIS and camera is when I was doing more vlogging stuff, as well as if I wanted to go just a straight light rig and I knew I wanted to do some like sliding shots. That's the only time I had it on. When I had the anamorphic glass on, I tend to turn it off, or if I wanted to do more handheld shake, I turned off the IBIS. So it was more of a balancing act. I know how to handle a camera really well without IBIS because it's fairly new technology in these cameras. I use a Sony A7S, which is a bigger camera, so that weight aids a lot to how to stabilize that camera. So same thing with this. I'm going to be rigging up this camera with a cage, handle, battery, a little bit more heavier lenses, and that's going to add on that weight and give me the stabilization from a physical standpoint that I need to actually get the shot that I want. And I know how to pull, push, hold my stance. I know how to do all that. So IBIS, not really a big deal. Yeah. Do you plan on using the SLR Magic anamorphics on it? Is there an aspect ratio problem? Oh, aspect ratio may be a problem. So yeah, I've thrown on the 35, the 50, and the 70, and there's significantly more crop. Like I was saying earlier about the question about the anamorphic mode not in this camera, I do have to crop it quite a bit. So using the 35 is ideal because it is a much wider field of view, and that crop is not as heavy when you look at it. But the 70 and the 50 suffer a lot. So I'll be doing more tests. I'll be doing more to test this out, and I do plan on switching out these lenses for either a 133 or maybe a 1.8, something like that down the road. But I do need a monitor to view these squeezes on this camera, so that's more on it, which I don't necessarily mind. Cool, that was it. I hope to do more of this. I know a lot of you like the technical stuff, but I'm getting more and more feedback on how I create content in terms of like my ventures into short films, docs, and stuff like that. That will be coming very soon. I do plan on making that type of content because that's the kind of content I like too. Because as creators, gear is one thing, but creating a story is another, and that's a much more bigger task, a much more bigger aspect to our jobs as filmmakers. So I do plan on sharing more of that down the road. Shout out to my friend Julian. I posted out a contest again to name this camera, and he won. The camera's name is Alessa. The camera's name is Alessa, so we're going to be calling it the Alessa Mini, aka, you know, the baby brother of the Alexa Mini. But I had to live up to that, so I got to make some cinematic stuff, yo. But until then, I'll catch you guys on the next one, and yeah, peace.